Hey guys, welcome to this presentation, Beyond Protein and Carbs, Optimal Athletic Nutrition. My name is Miranda, and I'm here to share why and how good nutrition can make you or your child a better athlete. Nourishing food can truly give an edge over the competition, from better performance to faster workout recovery. And even looking beyond athletic performance, healthy eating in general promotes a lifetime of health and fitness. Before we get started, I just need to let you know that the information in this presentation is for educational purposes only and is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. And then just a little bit about me before we get started. My name is Miranda. I am the owner of Thrive Nutrition, which is a small local business where we work one-on-one with clients to improve their nutrition and other lifestyle factors. I'm a licensed nutritionist. I have a master's degree in human nutrition, and I am also a health coach. For the presentation, my job is to share the knowledge that I have around how nutrition improves athletic performance. I will spend the first half going over that, and then I will also, towards the middle, go over some tips around how to incorporate healthier eating as soon as tomorrow. And lastly, I will explain how having a health coach can be just as important as having a hockey coach to help you reach your fullest potential. Some of you may be wondering, well, Miranda, I look fine, I feel fine, I like what I eat. Why can't I just continue doing that? Why can't I just eat whatever I want? And I'm here to tell you that when you focus on nutrition, you are going to reduce your chance of nutrient deficiencies, which will help you not only perform better, but recover faster. And it will also teach your children, if you're a parent listening in for your kids, or if you are a new adult, 18 years old or 19, that it's never too late to start good nutrition, and by doing so when you're young is going to help set you up for a lifetime of healthy eating. So the first point, like I said, is reducing your chance of nutrient deficiencies, and chances are you've got a deficiency. In one study, 70 diets were analyzed from individuals actively trying to improve their nutritional intake, and not one single diet achieved the minimum micronutrient levels suggested by the American Dietetic Association. And keep in mind, these were people who were going out of their way to eat healthy. The study also found that athletes experience micronutrient deficiencies at higher rates compared to sedentary people. And that may sound surprising, but it makes a lot of sense, because if you're really active and busy moving your body, your metabolism is going to be higher, and your metabolism is a biochemical process that uses minerals and vitamins to drive that reaction. So you need to replenish those to keep your energy up. In addition to your metabolism, you're also breaking down muscle, which ideally you want to build back up. And repairing tissue also increases the demand for good nutrition. Just how nutrients are part of your metabolism. Good food high in healthy fat, protein, and fiber are going to stabilize your blood sugar, which means you are going to have consistent energy during your game and practice. This includes during periods of high intensity exercises or long duration training. So with good nutrition, you may find that you are able to push yourself a little bit harder, or that you can go longer in your workouts without feeling like you're hitting a wall or bonking, and you may find that you don't get potentially as shaky or some lower blood sugar level symptoms. You're also going to promote your muscle repair, and which leads to growth, which is really important, because when you exercise, you break that muscle down. You want to build that back up. You want to grow it, which means you're going to maximize your training effects. If you're going to go through all of the work in all of the workouts, then you definitely want to be able to repair and make the most of that. Which is on the next slide. So recovering faster, right? You'll be able to heal better from repeated bouts of hard exercise when you nourish your body. There is published research on this as well. So active individuals lacking in B vitamins may perform worse during high intensity exercise and have a decreased ability to repair and build muscle than counterparts with nutrient rich diets. And lastly, eating well now supports a lifetime of healthy eating. There are athletes out there that can eat whatever they feel like and literally do eat whatever they feel like. And that seems all fine and dandy because they don't have to worry about body composition. But unfortunately, this hardwires unhealthy habits that they then continue to do as they get older. And this can lead to weight gain and other complications down the road. So my goal is to teach and to help my clients learn about the purpose of eating nutritiously and then incorporating eating nutritiously so that you can be fit in any age, at any activity level, which in this situation would be children who are busy now that will eventually get into jobs that are most likely going to be sedentary. And most people aren't aware that food choices change your genes. So food is more than energy. It actually becomes part of us. There is a really interesting field called nutritional epigenetics, and it's interested in the way in which food affects patterns of gene regulation. It is a molecular science focused on how the molecules in food interact with the molecules that attach to DNA and control levels of gene expression in the body. That maybe was a lot of mumbo jumbo. So what that means is some foods lead to genetic mutations that foster ill health and disease, while others protect and enhance our well-being and support a long, healthy life. All of the clients that I work with, and maybe I'm biased, but they all want to live a long, healthy life. And your odds increase to accomplish that the sooner you start incorporating nutritious eating. A pro team example of this is from the Los Angeles Lakers. They have an official team diet called the Pro Nutrition Program. After multiple injuries prior to his retiring, Kobe Bryant started looking at his nutrition. He said, as an athlete, you want to make sure you leave no stone unturned. You want to do the right things as much as possible to give yourself an opportunity. And Kobe no longer believed he could eat anything he wanted and still perform at a high level. So that is what prompted him to start looking at nutrition. The team hired Dr. Kate Shanahan, who is a physician who also has additional training in biochemistry and genetics. And she spent a lot of time studying traditional diets throughout the globe that had common threads of beautiful children who had great eyesight, straight teeth. They were very symmetrical. They didn't have broken bones, and they're elderly people. The elders in their community lived long, healthy lives. And she found that the common threads of those traditional diets had fresh food, fermented and sprouted foods, meat cooked on the bone, and organ meat. And those foods bring out the best in our genes. So what you see in some of our recommendations is we mirror what Dr. Shanahan found in her research. So I'll go over some examples. These are plate examples. So a lot of people are visual, so I really like these pictures. You can really see how a plate should look. So on the left side, that plate can be described as lower carb, moderate protein, and higher healthy fat. On the bottom, you see there's some starches, which you see like the pineapple and the apple, a little corn cob, beans and legumes, berries. It's literally the smallest part of your plate. And from the starches, berries are best. Where you have the largest part of your plate, the non-starchy vegetables, which is going to be the cauliflower, the lettuce, the broccoli. Up top, you have healthy fats. That's olive oil, avocado, coconut, cheese. And on the right, you have meat on the bone, your chicken leg, steak. You have eggs and nuts and seeds. This plate is good for most adults all of the time. They don't need a very carb-heavy diet because we're, as adults, not growing taller and we're more sedentary. So we're not as active. We don't need as much food that gets stored as body fat. So excessive carbohydrates get stored as body fat in adults generally. So this eating plan, again, good for adults. If you are a very active adult, then this could be on a day that you are taking a rest day or have lower intensity exercises, or like you're doing more walking versus CrossFit or whatever. And then this plate can also work for any minors whose doctors recommend that they lose body fat. And it wouldn't have to be this plate all of the time because children, again, do need more carbs and starches than adults, but this could be implemented, 2 meals or 1 meal out of the day. On the right, plate example number 2, this can be described as lower fat, moderate protein, higher carb. And again, these carbs are still not a huge part of the plate. It's a larger part, but you want to go smart carbs. So you're still going to do starchy vegetables, fruit, beans and legumes, and then maybe occasionally some grains. And then the fruits, you don't have to stick to berries per se. You can have bananas and pineapple and some of those higher sugar fruits. That takes up some of the space where the non-starchy vegetables would be, and then the healthy fat is reduced slightly where protein content stays about the same. Most people have heard that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I would add that breakfast is the most important meal of the day to not screw up. What you eat for breakfast dictates the metabolic state of your body the rest of the day. If you start your day off with a meal containing highly refined carbohydrates, low healthy fats, protein, and fiber, you are going to have problems with satiety, blood sugar control, mood, and fat burning throughout the rest of the day. So, foods that cause these issues are actually your typical breakfast option of toast, Pop-Tarts, donuts, waffles, cereal, granola bars, fruit juice, instant oatmeal, and even some protein bars. And I'm sure there are plenty of other options out there that I haven't mentioned, but those are some of the most common. All right, so in this slide, I have some examples of simple, healthy, and fast breakfast options. I'm hoping that most of you will have a lot of these ingredients already at home, and that way you will be able to try some of these as soon as tomorrow. The first is sausage with avocado. Kids can add toast because, again, kids can eat more carbohydrates compared to adults generally. And my tip is to buy Applegate pre-cooked frozen sausage. That way you don't have to cook it on the stove. They're ready to rock. You can put them in the microwave the morning of. I like Applegate just because they have a bunch of different flavors. They have an apple chicken, maple sage flavor, so keeps it fun and interesting. And I like things that are fun and interesting. The second recipe is hard-boiled eggs with berries. Kids can have a higher sugar fruit like banana if they want to swap out the berries. Totally fine. My tip is to invest in a $20 egg cooker. It will change your life. It is a set it and forget it appliance, and every time you will get the most perfectly cooked hard-boiled eggs. My third suggestion is to make a Greek yogurt or kefir parfait with fruit, raw nuts, and a drizzle of honey. I have 2 tips for this one. The first is that if you use frozen fruit, put that on the parfait the night before because it will thaw in the fridge overnight, and that way it'll be completely delicious and mixable the next morning. My second is if you use granola, make sure it's low in sugar because unfortunately, granola is generally marketed as being a healthy food, but it can be very unhealthy if it has a lot of sugar. Another suggestion is to try egg muffins, which are exactly as they sound. They are scrambled eggs baked like muffins. These are super simple, and my tip is that you can always keep some, throw them in the freezer, and that way you always have a healthy breakfast on hand. My last suggestion is for weekends when you want to have a little fun. You can have paleo waffles with real maple syrup. My tip for that is, again, just like the egg muffins, waffles can be made and then frozen. I also recommend going paleo with the mixes like Simple Mills, Birch Benders, and or Pamela's grain-free pancake mix because they are going to be lower in simple carbohydrates and they are going to have more protein and fiber when compared to a standard pancake waffle. This next slide is for anybody who maybe was feeling a little overwhelmed with the pictures of the plates that I shared a few slides ago. This is all about constructing a meal by deconstructing it. Basically, simplifying it into its parts, which I describe as PFF, protein, fat, fiber. What you want to do is make sure that you have all three in each of the meals that you have. So, some examples include eggs with cheese and greens. Eggs and cheese are protein and fat, greens are protein and fiber. Kids could add some sprouted whole grain toast if they'd like. Salad, this is a very basic salad. Salad with steak and olive oil dressing. Steak is fat and protein, greens are fiber, and olive oil is fat. Lastly, cauliflower rice curry with cashews and chicken. The vegetables, like the cauliflower and anything in the curry in regards to vegetables, is going to provide fiber. The cashews and the chicken are protein, and the coconut milk is fat. Mix. Okay, so this slide is all about meal prep. Most people need some sort of coaching around meal preparation. And I believe that in order to eat healthy, you do need to be making some or most of your meals from home. So what I've done for you today is I've provided my top tips that I recommend to clients in how to make meal preparation a whole lot easier. My first tip is to choose recipes that can be made with multiple servings. So I'm thinking crock pot, instant pot, multiple sheet pans, or using a grill. Those all work well for making lots of recipes and lots of servings per recipe so that you can freeze some, which is lovely when you have lots of food on hand that you can always thaw out to have. I also suggest making a grocery list for the week, including snacks. I don't recommend showing up at the grocery store on a whim because that usually leads to wandering and wasting time. Instead, setting 15-20 minutes aside each week, determining how many meals from home you will need can really help you narrow down how many recipes to choose from. I also recommend preparing protein in bulk. So instead of buying chicken wings or chicken breast, buy the whole dang chicken, roast it up, makes the house smell amazing. Then you're able to have all different types of recipes for the week from that chicken. So you may have shredded chicken salad for one meal. You may have some chicken in a soup. If you buy hamburger, you may have burgers one night and chili the next. So the possibilities are endless there. I also, to save time, I encourage clients to make 2 recipes at once. So when you are about finished with one and it's starting to cook, start preparing the other meal. This is great if you find a crock pot recipe and then another one that maybe is a little bit more hands-on. This way, when you're making 2 meals at once, that frees up a few nights per week, which means you're not cooking, and that having that time off can be nice. One of the tips that I do all the time is I portion my food out right away, even if I'm going to be eating from home. Having food portioned out is super slick because I don't have to grab from all of the different containers that hold the ingredients for my cooked meal. I have it all in one glass container that I can pop in the microwave, and it makes life so much easier. If you're super busy, you may want to consider purchasing prepared or frozen vegetables and fruit to save on time. So, I'm talking about the cut and washed celery or carrots, maybe some fresh fruit that's already washed and cut up. I always buy frozen broccoli and cauliflower just because it's already washed and pre cut for me. So, it's super easy to toss into stir fries, curries, or soups. And then my last tip is all about apps. One that I really like is called Mealime, and you can customize the type of eating plan you're trying to follow. You can put different foods you don't like, so that if a family member doesn't like mushrooms and you don't like olives, you will never get a recipe that has either of those. You can also tailor how many meals per week you want it to suggest, and it will generate a grocery list for you. So if you use Mealime, even as a backup, if you do show up at the grocery store, you will always have a list handy. I really hope that this content today was helpful. If you were feeling that maybe some of this information was a little overwhelming and you weren't really sure how to get started, or if some of this information was new, I am excited to share that you have a few different opportunities to work with us. The two options available to you include a 25-minute Q&A session to answer your burning nutrition questions. What you would do is complete a form ahead of time with your questions, and we, as health coaches and nutritionists, would spend the 25 minutes answering those questions. If you feel that you have a lot of questions and you may need a little help getting going with leading a healthy lifestyle with food and other factors like stress and sleep, I would suggest the 3-month health coaching membership. That includes 45-minute consultation call reviewing your health assessment that you complete ahead of time, and then up to 10 25-minute telephonic sessions. Just like having a coach for hockey, you can have a coach for your health, and that's us. We, as health coaches, determine you or your family's current habits related to topics surrounding nutrition, exercise, stress, and sleep. We help you decide on where to get started. We assist you with creating new skills like menu planning and meal preparation. And we also provide handouts, guidance, encouragement, and help you overcome obstacles that get in your way. Believe it or not, what we covered today just scratches the surface. We have so many additional resources available to our coaching clients. 2 of them are actually free for you to download on this webpage. The first is healthy kid products that aren't. You might be surprised. Second, the unsweet side of sugar. If you felt that you were nodding your head in regards to some of those unhealthy breakfast suggestions that I mentioned, like the Pop-Tarts and the cereal, I would encourage you to download the unsweet side of sugar, and it will help you track your sugar intake for 3 days. Some other sources that we have when we work with our coaches include some guides around taming the sugar monster, modern grocery shopping tips, utilizing technology to save time and money. A lot of our clients are on the go, so we have ideas around how you can eat healthy when you're not at home. A lot of families need snacks, so we have quick and healthy snack ideas, even our specific pregame, postgame snacks. We also have age-appropriate ways children can help in the kitchen. A lot of times the food prep and the menu planning falls onto one parent, and this is a great way to get kids in the kitchen, to get them familiar with food, to make food less scary, and to make them want to try new foods. We also have guides around healthy school lunches and also on gluten, quality protein, healthy fats, vegetables, carbs, and hydration. If you feel that this health coaching thing might be something you want to do, there are a few options. The first is for athletes that are minors. A parent or guardian will be coached on healthier eating for families if they want to participate in health coaching. If the athlete is 15 to 17, they can participate one on one with us, but a parent or guardian needs to be present during the first 45-minute consultation appointment. And lastly, athletes that are 18 or older, one on one coaching is available for you for the entire duration of the health coaching membership. And the cool thing is that you can conveniently schedule all of your appointments online at any time. All right, everybody, that concludes my presentation. I hope you were able to find at least a few gems that you are excited to try. I would love to hear if you have any comments or feedback, or if you have any questions, send us an email. We can be reached at hellothrivenutrition@gmail.com. And again, if you are interested in scheduling a Q&A session, or if you want to get started with health coaching, you can do so by clicking the link in this webpage to get your appointments scheduled. Thank you.